some of the SPACs that have listed since the start of this year, and there have been so many, have not done all that well since. But some of them are in sectors like technology, who have investments in sectors like technology that maybe you wouldn't expect to do all that well. What are your thoughts on the most recent performance of SPACs?
Good morning, Anna. And you're right. I think whenever you see the kind of extreme boom that we've seen in the U.S., there's clearly going to be some froth that needs to come back down to the ground. However, I think in Europe, as you've heard from a couple of the other previous speakers, Johannes and David Schwimmer, I think we're in a very different position. The SPAC boom here is really just starting, and the issuance is coming mostly from really high quality type of sponsors. And I think a key difference between the US and Europe is that in Europe, I don't think SPACs are going to be as technology and electrification focused. I think there's going to be more industrials and other types of sectors that use SPAC technology. So I think it's a pretty robust foundation in Europe right now.
Okay. Do you see anything? I mean, is there any sort of lack of seriousness to some of the activity in the SPAC arena, Henrik? And is that to its detriment? I'm thinking about the way that they are named, or perhaps some of the people who've been attracted into finance for the first time to put their names to one. Or is this an exciting democratization, and that's the whole point?
I think it's all of those things. Clearly, a SPAC is a democratic way to invest in a private equity situation, and it lowers barriers for private investors to participate in things like IPOs, which typically are reserved for institutional accounts. So that's very much a good thing. Clearly, also when you see the amount of issuance that's happening, particularly in the U.S. There's also the potential for things to go wrong. And, that's why it's an equity risk and an equity return. I think some of the structural aspects of SPACs are interesting because if you invest in them at IPO, you do have the redemption right to get your money back as an investor in case you don't like the acquisition. And so that does protect you. Of course, if you buy in the aftermarket at a higher valuation, the risks are higher. But actually, SPACs, the real question to me is more about the de-SPACing, because at the moment anyone can raise a SPAC. Certainly, that's how it feels. But what's going to differentiate the good sponsors from the bad sponsors is going to be their ability to find high-quality assets to de-SPAC into. And as an institution, that's actually what we're more focused on.